Hi there, Zamir from NerdTube. This is my appreciation post to the Mayans MC. 5 seasons of glorious binging I've done in the last 2 weeks watching this show, and I fucking loved it. I was a big fan of Sons of Anarchy, and that show filled the void of Sopranos, funnily enough, because when The Sopranos came out, there was nothing like that show on television. It began the golden age of TV, I believe, in my opinion. And once it ended, I wanted another show about organized crime. I couldn't get enough of it. Like this sort of mafio contingent. We needed something else to fill that void, and Sons of Anarchy came at the right time. Instead of the mafia, we had bikers, but they were still the same sort of people. They had these codes, but they'll fuck each other over, and they'll do these wise guy tactics to kill each other and whack each other and all this sort of shit. But like I said earlier, it wasn't the mafia, it was bikers, but it was still the same shit. And I fucking loved it, and we got 7 goddamn seasons out of it. And then shows about these shades of grey characters and bad people and stuff like that, and organised crime were coming out of the woodwork after that. We had shows like Breaking Bad, which I enjoyed, but the prequel series I found much more better and Better Call Saul. Fucking loved it. Mine had already come out, but I didn't jump on that bandwagon straight away until recently, and then I binged all 5 fucking seasons, and it was absolutely glorious. An amazing show, proper roller coaster. One of the things I got out of this series is the moments of happiness, how they don't last. What I noticed the most is that the moment people are laughing and smiling and joking and being jovial and happy and feeling everything's great, within minutes of that moment, it's all going to come tumbling down. And that was a prominent feature in the Mayans series. The sort of relationship the Mayans had with one another as well. It didn't feel the same as what it was with the Sons. The Sons, I did feel the camaraderie was there. They had more of them had each other's back than they didn't, and I didn't necessarily feel that with the Mayans. I thought that they could fuck each other over at any moment. Now, I think some of them had more higher expectations of each other than they did, but obviously we're focusing on our main character, in Ezekiel Reyes, who's already a snitch, and his brother knows that he's a fucking snitch. So in that case, we kind of realize that to a degree that the people here, like the bonds they have, are not that great. We saw minds killing each other left, right, and center during the course of this show, as well in various ways. Yeah, it was not the same sort of bond they had with the Sons, but I still fucking loved it. I loved the character of Ezekiel Reyes. He was there, Jax Teller, without a doubt. A young, intelligent man who had the world at his fucking feet, who unfortunately lost it all with an unfortunate mistake of killing a cop, which meant that once he came out of jail, or to be an informant in this particular case, the only thing he really had in life was to be a biker. But he had certain skills about him, being intelligent. Not only was that a skill of his, but also he had that photographic memory, something that was quite prominent in the first few seasons. Kind of forgot about that in the latter seasons, but fair enough. They can't maybe keep jumping on board of that, because it was a tool the MC used when it came to trying to figure shit out. But once Ezekiel became president, and I love the fucking arc of that, then it was his own personal tool, and nobody was going to ask him to use it unless he needed to use it, which we never really saw that much. Storylines were closed. Certain people lived. Certain people died. I was shocked to see that Potter fucking lived. If there was one person out of all of the people who I thought was definitely going to get it, it was going to be Potter. And in a way, it's a good thing that some of these, terrible people come out of this shit unscathed, because the world is not a fair fucking place. At the same time, Marcus Alvarez, he was one person I was rooting to come out of this. We've seen him since the Sons of Anarchy, and then he gave up his position as a Mayan just to come back again to repair the civil war that was going on, to then leave again. But this time ousted by Reyes, Ezekiel Reyes, the very person he made vice president, and for him to come out of this unscathed. I mean, he did obviously have some moments in this when he was being tortured and shit like that, but for him to come out of this and be able to uh, be part of his family, a proper family man, I'm very happy. I think his saving grace was taking care of his colleague's son who had Down syndrome. I think that saved him, in my opinion, which is why he came out of that shit alive. And yeah, I'm happy for him. Angel Reyes came out of this alive as well. and that was probably the saddest of all of them, because everyone in Angel's life had died. His partner, he didn't know if she was dead, but we knew that she was dead. His dad had died. His mum's obviously dead. His brother's about to fucking die, and he has to start off with the killing. It was glorious that he did actually live, because we needed him to live, obviously, to be a father to his son, which is a sacrifice Ezekiel made. And finally, everything catching up to Ezekiel. And that moment when the whole fucking MC turned on him and Reyes, it was fantastic. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, they're not going to get out of this. This is the final episode of the final season. Zeke is dead. And not only Ezekiel died, his girlfriend died afterwards, who was probably happy with the news that she was pregnant. Oh, man. But in a way, Ezekiel kind of deserved what he got. We saw his decline. Same way with Jax Teller. Somebody who was initially our hero, the good guy in all of this. And then they start falling apart and do some terrible things that they can't come back from. When he killed his previous girlfriend, it was no coming back for Ezekiel, and in a way he kind of got what he deserved. Emily too, like her plan to oust her husband and get revenge on the man who killed her sister, which was her bodyguard. Fantastic. It all made sense now with the camera and everything. Fucking loved it. Some genius plays in this. And at the same time, I felt a little bit rushed. I thought there were some storylines they were progressing with, but never really came much into play. Letty's character, for instance, what was she doing in all of this? I mean, it kind of felt a bit of a mess. And some of the new business deals that the Mayans were making, like with the Chinese and stuff, turned out to be nothing really. So I don't know where they were going with some of these storylines, but overall we did focus on what mattered the most, and that was the Galindos and obviously the Mayans. Yeah, great stuff. It's just a fantastic series, a fantastic show, and I look forward to more in this universe. It's left me breathless. It really has. I love stuff like this. I love following characters who are not necessarily heroic. These are not good people, and they have moments of good in them, which kind of makes us root for them. Tony Soprano had that. Jax Teller had that. Ezekiel Reyes had that. But overall, these are despicable people who've done terrible things, and they deserve what they get. A lot of people think Tony Soprano died on the very last moment of Sopranos. We obviously know Jax Teller died, and we know Ezekiel died, and our heroes have fallen. And you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Great stuff. Great arcs, great supporting cast. You love that in shows like this when you're focusing on more than just the main people. So many people I could talk about with where they went. For instance, Nesta, starting off to be a henchman for the Galindos and then gets patched in as a Mayan by the very end. Who would have saw that coming? Fantastic stuff. There's just so many things. Tarza's story arc, I'm not sure where that went, to tell you the truth. It was a bit bizarre. And Gilberto Lopez, Gilly, him and CM Punk, it kind of felt a bit weird here and there. Like, was he going to get back with his ex-girlfriend as well? And that was his son and all of that shit. Like, was there anything going to come out of this other than sending CM Punk to fucking rehab? It just felt pointless, some of these additional storylines. Seeing my boy Edward James Olmos go out like a fucking warrior was so sad, and it breaks my heart because you see him, caressing his grandson, trying to, his last moments is holding his grandson in his hand. You keep trying to keep him safe, taking out a few of the sons as well. Just dying there with his grandson. Oh man, oh boy, kills me. It really does. So, anyways, let me know what you think of this particular series. It was some of the best television you've seen. It is for me. I loved it. I want more. I want more stuff like this. I want more stuff from this universe. I really do. This shouldn't be the end. Give me more. Give me, feed me more, as Ryback would say. I want more from this world. I don't want to follow the grim bastards or anything like that. I don't know. I mean, the makers of this should figure it out. I know Kurt Stutter, who created all of this shit, has been ousted. Even and FX own it, which is a bit of a shame. But there's a lot here. There really is. This universe can't end now. It really can't. It's just too good, and too deep, too enthralling to stop. And I want to know, did the fucking was it the ATF or whatever the fuck those guys are called? At the end, very end, did they go into the clubhouse and just shoot up and kill all the other MC members? So like the entire Southern Cali, or I know they're just California now, but that particular contingent, are they all dead? I need to know. And the only way I would know if they create a new series that continues where this one left off, regarding who we focus on. So yeah, maybe with Angel, maybe he starts a new MC, in fucking Redneck Riviera or where the fuck he is. But yeah, let me know what you think of this series, this show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care, bye bye.